Hiya, my name is Chris. I study cartoon and comic arts and I'm from Greece.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm studying a Masters in Digital Forensics and I'm half Italian, half English. Welcome to Staffordshire Uni.
And we're going to take you on a tour of the entire campus.
This is our amazing Catalyst building filled with social, study and teaching spaces and some great cafes. This is the Ashley building where you can find the library core, which is our main library, where you can find most of our books except for the ones of art and design, which are based in the library creative. So this is the Ashley 2 building where you can find the mock courtroom and our legal advice clinic, which is staffed by students and supervised by legal practitioners. Here you can also find our healthcare facilities, which include clinical simulation suites. This is our full-size Astro pitch, and just behind there we've got another 3 pitches, and this is where our sports clubs train. This is a sports centre which is named after the Stoke City player Sir Stanley Matthews. It has gym facilities and a sports hall which is used by many of our sports teams to train. So this is Coalport, where our Res Life team is based. They manage all our university accommodation and they have coordinators which are based here daily, and during term time they're here till late night, so if you have any problems you can just talk to them. This is part of our student accommodation. Behind me you can see the Leek Road houses, and just a bit further back you can see one of our Leek Road halls. This is LRV, where our weekly club night takes place, which is called Gobble, as well as other events. This is Verve, where you can grab a coffee, chill out, do some work during the day, and then on Wednesdays and Fridays you can grab a cocktail as well. This is the Leek Road Union shop, which is close to our accommodation, so if you're ever missing any essentials you can come and grab them here. So this is a science centre where our psychology, forensics, biological sciences and sports science courses are based, and you can also find Student Connect, the sports therapy clinic and the careers team. So this is a woodlands nursery that brings a forest into our city campus. It is available for day spaces for preschool children, of our staff members, students and our local community, and outside of term time it also has spaces available for older children.
This is the Cadman Courtyard, where you can find courses such as architecture, the foundation in art and design, cartoon and comic arts and fine arts. This is where you can find the courses for music and sound and film and their respective studios, so students can study in a secluded space with their own studio and equipment. This is the Cadman building, where you can find the games-related courses as well as the biggest motion capture room in all of European academia. The library creative can also be accessed through the Cadman building and is dedicated to the art and design department and all related courses. The train station is literally around the corner from this building, and there are a number of bus stops with frequent routes going all the way up to Hanley. This is the Flaxman building, and courses held here include film production and education. This is also where you can find Staffs Live, where students can record their own media programs, and it's also where the Student Connect podcast is recorded. This is the Beacon building, home to the esports courses and the esports hub, as well as the Pavilion Cafe. This is the Mellor building, home to computing and engineering courses, as well as Smart Zone that has facilities such as 3D printing where our engineering students can work. The Mellor is also home to our cutting-edge virtual production studio. This is the Henry Media Center, and it loans specialist equipment for a variety of courses such as the film production and photography. The Squeeze Box is an excellent place where you can grab a milkshake, a smoothie, a coffee or a meal deal before or after your lectures. This building houses the Student Union offices upstairs and the Ember Lounge downstairs. The Ember Lounge is a great place that hosts nightlife activities such as karaoke and quiz night. This is the Dwight building, home to product design, transport design and ceramics, as well as the automotive workshops. Thank you for coming with us on this campus tour.
We hope to see you very soon.
And if you want to find out more, please visit our website.
Hope you have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's live session. I'm Shumi from EN Global Education Limited. We are a trusted UK university partner representing more than 80 top-ranked universities over there. In our today's session, we have a very special guest with us, Elli Toulson, from one of our prominent partners, University of Staffordshire. Elli, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me today.
Okay, we are really very happy to have you here. Thank you for joining our live session today. So our audiences, our today's live session will be focusing on the upcoming session the university is offering for the international students. Also, we'll cover university facilities, academic programs, and scholarships, and many more opportunities for the international students. So in the session, Elli will provide you all the necessary information. And if you have any queries, please put them in the comment section below. At the end of our session, we'll have a question and answer session with you all. So let's get started. Elli, could you kindly introduce yourself once again to our audiences, and kindly please provide an overview of University of Staffordshire's study, location, and campuses, please?
Of course. So thank you again for having me today. So my name is Elli, and I am the International Officer based at the University of Staffordshire. So the University of Staffordshire has three main campuses, the main one being based in Stoke-on-Trent, which is in Staffordshire, which is the county town of the name of our university. We also have a campus in Stafford, which is a little bit further south from Stoke-on-Trent, and then finally a satellite campus based in London. I'll just go over those campuses just in a little bit more detail for you. So the Stoke-on-Trent campus, as I said, is our main campus. So Stoke-on-Trent is really nicely located in between Manchester to the north and Birmingham to the south. As you saw on that video there, the train station is right next to the campus. So it's really easy for you to commute to those larger cities if you want to explore the UK. And also you can get down to London in an hour and a half on the fast train as well. So it's really nicely located. And on our Stoke-on-Trent campus, we have everything that you could possibly need. So we have our accommodation, all of those individual buildings that you saw in that video, and the really great mix between studying and social life as well. Our Stafford campus is set up as our Centre of Health Innovation and is specifically for our health-based courses. So this includes nursing, midwifery, paramedic science, and operating department practice. And it's set up very much so, so you can get ready for the world of work in one of those healthcare professions. Our London campus is based at Here East in Stratford in London. And the campus itself is within the Here East facilities, which were built as part of the London 2012 Olympics. So in terms of the campus, it is 2 floors within a building, which is set within this tech hub space. So it's very much getting you world work ready in order to be able to really experience what it's going to be like in the world of work. In terms of the courses that we offer at our London campus, these are dedicated to a select few of our computing and games courses. So not all of our courses are available there, and it is a slightly different vibe. But that's a little bit about our campuses and what we have to offer from that aspect.
Okay, great to hear that. So, Elli, can you please cover for our students, what are the programs or what are the courses you are offering for the upcoming session?
Of course. So we have a wide range of courses that are available for September 2025 intake. So I'll go over these in sort of broad topic areas, and then we can direct you to our website that tells you more in-depth details within those. So we have our business school. So within our business school, this includes both undergraduate and postgraduate courses, including our MBA. And we also have specialisms at undergraduate in things such as entrepreneurship, sustainability, or international business management. We then have our School of Computing. Within computing, this includes specialisms such as cybersecurity, cloud and network computing, artificial intelligence. And again, there's slightly different courses between undergraduate and postgraduate, but that kind of gives you an idea of what we're working at. And computing is something that we've been doing at the University of Staffordshire for over 60 years. It really is one of our key areas of subjects. We have our engineering. Within our engineering, this includes mechanical, aeronautical, automotive and motorsport, and software development as well. At a master's level, you can then also specialise a little bit further in things such as renewable energy and telecommunications. We then have our wide games institute. So we have the UK's largest games institute of all of the UK universities. And when we say games, we mean everything from the initial concept and the design all the way to the programming and the facilitation of that. So that includes games art, concept art for games and film, games design, games development, games programming, and everything in between. And we have fantastic facilities working with Epic Games and Tiger for those sorts of subjects. We then also have our subjects within the art field. So this includes things such as illustration, graphic design, architecture. So you can really see we have a really wide variety of courses available. And then, as I mentioned, at our Stafford campus, we have our nursing and health occupations that you can look into. And that also includes, but based at our Stoke-on-Trent campus, our biomedical science and our biomedical science, which can be completed as well, which is a great course that we have on offer again with the facility. So there really are a wide variety of courses that we have on offer here at the University of Staffordshire.
Thanks for explaining so fully. So, Elli, as you know, most of our students coming with, a longer duration of courses. So, are you offering any courses that comes with the placement here at your university?
Yes, so we do have a number of courses that offer placement years, but what's important to note is that as our policy at the University of Staffordshire is that as an international student, you can't apply for the course with a placement year. However, that doesn't mean that you can't take a placement year. Basically, what we want to do is we want to ensure that you're settled into your course, you've arrived in the UK, you've adjusted, and then you will work with our Career Connect team and also the placement coordinator within your individual course area to help and support you to find a suitable placement. Only once you are able to find that placement, we will then, our international student support team will assist you to get a visa extension. So if our course offers a placement year, it will state on the individual course page on our website. But it's also really important to note that the majority of our courses offer loads of other ways to improve your employment skills throughout the standard course. So this includes working with industry professionals. So, for example, within computing, they work with Cisco, for example. So you'll get additional qualifications within them. You'll get guest lecturers from both the local area and also from those large partners of ours. Some courses, such as our biomedical science, you have to do a placement within that, and that can look different depending on how you approach that. So definitely take a look at the individual course websites to see what's available. But if it's a full placement year that you're wanting to do, as I say, you can't apply for that, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it once you're here, and we'll support you to get that placement.
Perfect. So can you also please cover the entry requirements for UG and PG for Bangladeshi students?
Of course. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure that I get everything correct with this. So in terms of our entry requirements, from a an undergraduate point of view, we would be looking for a higher secondary certificate with a minimum of 75% or a 4.0 out of 5, plus 2 years of an ordinary undergraduate degree with a minimum grade of 60%. So that's what we'd be looking for our bachelor's. In terms of for postgraduate, the majority of our courses need equivalent to a 2-2 degree in the UK. So that would be a 4-year bachelor's degree with a minimum GPA of 3.0 out of 4. So that's what we would be looking for. In terms of English language, there are a few of our courses that are slightly different, but the majority of them are the same. And this is for both bachelor's and master's. We need an IELTS of 6 with no lower than 5.5 in each category. We do, however, accept a wide range of other English language qualifications, such as TOEFL, PTE, Password English, and Language CELT as well.
Okay, so what is the current offer and CAS turnaround time, Elli?
Of course. So currently, we are working within a 2 working day turnaround time. So if you get that application submitted, obviously with the support from you guys at EN Global, that's within 2 days, you can get that offer. In terms of from a CAS point of view, we have a number of compliance checks that we have to have students pass before we can issue the CAS. These will begin once you have paid your deposit, and you will only pay a deposit once you have an unconditional offer. But generally speaking, once you have passed those 2 compliance checks, which are a pre-CAS interview and a finance check, you will get your CAS within 5 working days. And we are already issuing CASs, so the sooner your applications are in, the sooner we can get that process going, and we can get your CAS out to you for you to apply for your visa for September.
Okay, so can you also please cover the tuition fees you are having for UG and PG, also the CAS deposit?
Of course. So our course fees are £16,750 per year, except for our nursing, which is £19,000. Again, it will state on the individual course page what those are, but generally speaking, we're looking at £16,750. However, we're really pleased to be able to offer our SMART scholarship, which is £3,000. For undergraduate students, that's £3,000 per year. So if you're coming for our standard 3-year bachelor's degree, you could be saving, you will be saving £9,000. So that will make your tuition fees £13,750. In terms of the deposit, we have a deposit of £6,500, but there is no further fee at enrolment time. So once you've paid that deposit, your remaining fee for the year isn't due until the end of January. So you have a nice chunk of time to be able to get that remaining tuition fee there. So, so just as a reminder, with our scholarship, the fee will be £13,750, and then we have a deposit of £6,500.
Okay, so Elli, after making the CAS deposit, so how many installments students will get to pay the remaining deposit, 2 or 3?
So it's actually just one other installment. But as I say, if they're starting in September, that's not then due until the end of January. So they have a number of months to be able to pay that remaining fee, which is just over £7,000.
The remaining fees, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is there any availability of, PhD or DBA program at your university?
Of course. So we do have PhDs available at the University of Staffordshire. The application process is slightly different to that of our undergraduate and our postgraduate courses. If you are interested in doing a PhD, the best thing to do is to take a look at our postgraduate research course page on the website, and there's an inquiry button on there. That inquiry button goes to our PhD team for them to assess and start reviewing. Before you can apply, we have to make an assessment that we have the correct expertise within our lecturers to be able to facilitate your piece of research. And you also have to be able to submit your proposal. Once the proposal has been assessed, that's when you would then apply. So it's a slightly different process. So if you are interested in PhD, please, obviously, like I said, take a look at our website, get in touch with us, obviously get in touch with the 𝐿 Global, and they can get in touch with us and we can support you through that, because it is a slightly different process for the PhD application.
Okay, fine. So students need research proposal to submit an application, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Elli, can you please share us the details about the university's accommodation facilities and student support services, please?
Of course. So in terms of our accommodation for Stoke-on-Trent campus, we have a number of types of accommodation available. So this includes shared bathrooms and also private bathrooms in more of a flat style, traditional university halls. And then we also have more of like a house setting as well. The prices vary between whether you're choosing a private or a shared bathroom and the number of people in the flat. So, for example, our Clariscliffe court that has some rooms that are remodeled, that is our most expensive, and that is because it's a small number of people in the flat, so 5 or 6 people. And again, you have your own private bathroom. We then have again, like I say, our traditional halls, which are 12 to 14 people. You share a lovely large kitchen, which has got a really nice social space in it with a TV, sofas for you to hang out, really big kitchen. It basically has 2 of everything. And then you also have a really large bathroom that has 3 showers, 3 toilets, and you have a sink in all of your rooms as well. In terms of the prices of those, it's around about, on average, £5,000 for the academic year. But that does, again, it depends on the type of accommodation that you're looking for. So our accommodation at Stoke-on-Trent is also available for students based at our Stafford campus, as we have a shuttle that works between those 2 campuses. In terms of our London campus, because it's not set up as a traditional campus, we don't have our own accommodation. However, you're in London, there's obviously loads of universities in London, so there's lots of student housing. So we do have partnerships with local private accommodation that we can support you to find accommodation within that. Now, if you're staying in our Stoke-on-Trent campus or our Stafford campus and you don't want to live on campus, we do also have our Students' Union letting agency called Greenpad, which can support you to find private housing that's nearby the university. And this they obviously have a wide range of types of accommodation that you can stay in, and they're all, like I say, super close to the campus as well.
Okay, good to hear that. Okay, so Elli, as you previously mentioned, the university offering £3,000 scholarship for each student each year for UG and PG for the first year. So is there any merit-based scholarship for the students who, scored a very good marks in their undergraduation or post-graduation? Is there any availability of it?
So currently we don't have any other scholarships other than our SMART scholarship of £3,000. And as I say, that's automatically awarded. So all students will from Bangladesh will be able to get that scholarship, but we don't have any merit-based ones at this moment in time.
Okay. So Elli, tell us that what are the documents that needed to make an application at your university?
Of course. So in terms of the documents we obviously need the standard things such as your passport, your previous qualifications, and that includes certificate and transcripts. If you have any previous visa refusals, we would also need you to provide those, and we would need your English language. The other key document that we would need from you is your statement of purpose. Now, your statement of purpose, we want to make sure that you are really putting a lot of effort into writing this, and because it's really your chance to shine and tell us who you are. Previously to this, we're just looking at you in terms of grades, but your statement of purpose or your personal statement is where we can find out a little bit more about you. So we want to know why you want to come and study in the UK, why you want to study at the University of Staffordshire, and why the particular course that you're studying, how that's going to help you meet your goals in the future, and on all those sorts of things. So the statement of purpose is a really key document that we need you to provide. Also, if you are wanting to come and do one of our postgraduate courses and maybe you have a study gap, we would also need to see your CV. Your CV needs to cover that full time period that since your last last point of study. And in addition to that, we would need references from your employers, again, since you have previously studied, to cover that study gap period. And if you have a study gap, we would need you to provide us an additional statement within your personal statement that explains why you're now wishing to return to study after that break. So they're the key documents that we would need in order for you guys to apply. But you're welcome to apply with provisional results. So if you haven't got your final results from school or your current bachelor's degree, you can still apply. That's not a problem. We just won't be able to give you an unconditional offer until you have your official results. And the same goes for English language as well. So if you haven't quite got your English language, you can still apply without that. But ideally, the more information that you can provide us at the beginning, the quicker we can get that offer to you, basically.
Perfect. So Ellie, in terms of acceptance, what is the maximum gap the university accepting for UG and PG students?
Okay. So from a postgraduate point of view, we can be a little bit more flexible. We will review up to 10 years. However, as I said before, there needs to be a really strong reasoning for that gap, and you must be able to evidence that within that study gap, you have been working in a relevant field and things such as that. In terms of for undergraduate study, we ideally want much less in terms of that study gap. So if you are concerned about the length of study you have or gap since your last period of study, please get in touch with us and we can work with you from there. But again, we need that evidence to support that study gap. But from a postgrad point of view, we will review up to 10 years.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the detailed information you have given us. So Ellie, now I'd like to take some questions from our students who are watching our live session. May I?
Of course, please do.
Okay, sure. Thank you. How much scholarship do you offer per PG and UG student?
Okay, so the scholarship we have is our SMART scholarship, which is £3,000. So for postgraduate students, this is £3,000 for your course. For our undergraduate students, this is £3,000 per year of your course. So obviously, as standard, an undergraduate course in the UK is 3 years. So you would get £3,000 each of those 3 years.
Thanks. Do you accept MOI, medium of instruction, I guess?
So currently we don't, but as I mentioned, we do accept a wide range of English language tests. So hopefully one of those would suit you, but also watch this space. So we'll see what happens. But currently we have a number of English language led tests that we would accept, but not MOI.
Will you be joining 17-minute fair at British Council?
So unfortunately, we won't be there. However, EN Global will be representing us. So if you do have any questions, they can support you or direct you to us for us to support you as well. But unfortunately, we won't be there this time.
visa refusal?
So yes, we do accept students with previous UK visa refusals or visa refusals from anywhere in the world. However, we have to make an assessment of this. So please, if you do have a visa refusal, provide this at point of application so we can make an assessment of this. We would need the visa refusal letter that states the reasoning for that refusal for us to make that assessment. And then we would assess that and then let you know from that point of view. Now, the reason we do this is from a compliance perspective, because obviously we don't want you to potentially end up with a second visa refusal, particularly from the UK, if that's the case. So the earlier you provide that visa refusal, the better, so we can make sure that we're in good standing with you. But as I say, we will need that official visa refusal letter for us to review, and that can be from whatever country that refusal is in and whatever type of visa as well.
That's cool. What's the entry requirement for UG students?
Of course. So for undergraduate, we are looking for a higher secondary certificate with a minimum of 75% or a 4.0 out of 5. Plus a 2-year ordinary undergraduate degree with a minimum grade of 60%. What I should mention is that we do also offer foundation years. So if you don't quite meet those entry requirements, we do have subject-specific foundation years. Not all of our subjects offer foundation years, so it's something to bear in mind, but we do have that as an option. Also, if you have slightly higher grades than that, you so for example, equivalent to a higher national diploma, an HND, you may be eligible for one of our top-up courses in business or computing. So that's something to bear in mind as well. But you will also find those entry requirements on our Bangladesh country page on our website if you want to go back and check those at any point.
Interview before getting a crisis.
Of course. So I mentioned that we have 2 compliance checks. So that is a pre-CAS interview and a visa finance check. So the pre-CAS interview is part of those compliance checks, and they're what we have to do and you must pass before we will issue you a CAS. In terms of the way we facilitate our pre-CAS interview, it is conducted via Microsoft Teams with one of our admissions and compliance officers. And it is essentially a kind of a verbal version of your personal statement. So that's why it's really important that you put some time and effort into writing your personal statement, because that will really help you when you're coming to that pre-CAS interview. As a university, we have a number of support areas for you to find out more about how we're going to process that pre-CAS interview, but also you've got your counsellor based at EN Global who can support you through that process as well. So it's about a 20-minute interview done via Microsoft Teams, and you do have to pass that in order for us to give you your CAS. And then once you've passed that, you would then proceed on to our finance check.
Study gap, maximum study gap.
So the maximum study gap we will accept for postgraduate courses is 10 years. However, that is assessed on an individual basis, and there needs to be strong evidence for that's 10 years study gap, and that you have been working in a relevant field, progressing and things along those lines. So that is where we will need you to provide your CV that covers that full study gap period, and then also an employer reference from all of the employers you have had since that last period of study.
Is there any accommodation available in London campus?
So as I mentioned before, we don't have any university-owned accommodation within our London campus. However, we do work with a number of private accommodation nearby to the campus. You can see these on our London campus website. You can see the companies that we work with there, but obviously there also are a wide range of accommodation options within London, being it is our capital city with lots of universities. But if you have any worries about finding accommodation in London, please just get in touch with us and we can support you through that. But no, we don't have any university-owned accommodation for London.
Airport pickup service for student.
So currently this is not something that we provide. However, we do ask that you inform us when you are arriving so we can be aware of what's happening. So you will be sent, once you have successfully received your visa, there is a Microsoft form that we ask you to complete. And after that, then there's a form for you to complete in terms of your arrival. So we are aware of that. If you have any issues with pickup or things like that, that's where our international student support team can assist you. But currently we don't provide airport pickup service.
3 years pairs course degree.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure what you mean specifically by a 3-year pass course degree. So
from Bangladesh, they completed honors for 4 years bachelor,
right.
And from National University, they completed 3 years pass course. So are you accepting those students for master's courses?
Of course. My initial thought would be that it would be a top-up course that you would be eligible for us. However, apply and provide all your documents, and our admissions team will review those on a case-by-case. Well, they view everything obviously on an individual full basis, taking everything into account. And it would also depend on your grade within that particular degree as well. So please bear that in mind. But drop us an email with a copy of your certificate and your transcript, and we can review that for you if you would like us to. Okay. So you can apply for 2 courses. So you could apply for paramedic science and nursing, but ideally you would apply for 1 course at a time, because obviously that impacts the personal statement that you're submitting and the other relevant information there. In terms of having science, we will definitely look at that. It doesn't necessarily have to be biology though. So that's something to bear in mind. So we would look at your individual transcript and see what science you have and go based off of that. Essentially, what we're looking for is equivalent to the UK's GCSE science. And again, like I say, it doesn't have to be biology. It can be chemistry or physics. So that's something to bear in mind. Within our nursing, though, you will have to take a test at the beginning when you start as part of the NMC, which is the Nursing and Midwifery Council's regulations. So that's something to bear in mind of. So you do have to make sure you have that level of science, but in terms of what you're using to evidence that, it can depend on that. So again, send in a copy of your transcripts and we can review those, or apply and we can review those too. But ideally you would be applying for 1 course at a time. So really take a look and think about what your future is that you're wanting to do. So whether you are wanting to do paramedic science or nursing, because they obviously are very different courses. And in terms of the jobs, they're obviously very different as well. So take a look at those, review those in more detail, do some research, and ideally apply for just 1 at a time.
Okay. Thanks for covering all the concerns, Elli. An important announcement for all our aspiring students: CN Global Education Limited is going to organize International Education Fair at British Council, Dhaka on 17th May 2025. So please join us to get the chance to get on-spot offers, scholarships, and admission at UK universities. As we approach at the end of our session, Elli, do you have anything to say about our students, especially regarding EN Global Education Limited?
No, just thank you again for having us. Really appreciate it. The counsellors at EN Global are fantastic. So obviously we work very closely with them. So any questions that you do have, please obviously speak to the team at EN Global. And if they need to speak to us, we can work with you. And obviously they can be there on hand to help you through that entire process from application all the way to visa. So please use them to help support you on our behalf, but we are also always here to support you should you want or need to speak to us directly as well.
Thank you so much, Elli, for sharing all this valuable information about the University of Staffordshire. And thank you all the students who joined today. If you missed the January session, don't worry. The applications are open for the upcoming September session. And please visit any of our branches to learn more about the opportunities at the University of Staffordshire offering for the students and how you can apply. I'd like to thank Elli once again, our students, and all of our viewers for their time and patience. I hope everyone now has the information they need to know regarding the university admission process. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you on EN Global Education Limited. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day and enjoy the fair on the 17th of May.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.